What I would like to do at this point is bring up Roxanne O'Brien, who's a resident and community organizer in North Minneapolis. Roxanne is a mother of 3 children who has been fighting for environmental justice in her neighborhood for 7 years. She is trusted among her fellow longtime residents of North Minneapolis and has worked tirelessly to bring issues of industrial pollution on the north side to the forefront before many established organizations were engaged. She was a key organizer around the elevation of Northern Metals facility for the past 7 years for the purpose of pushing the city and state to face environmental injustice and racism in her community. She was on the Minneapolis Environmental Advisory Commission for 4 years, served on the city's first official Green Zones Working Group, and currently works on 6 other councils and boards, including the Environmental Justice Coordinating Council, funded by the McKnight Foundation. Roxanne organizes with the Center for the Earth, Energy, and Democracy, is a lead organizer with the Tactical Urbanism Lab at Juxtaposition Arts, and has received the Archibald Bush Leadership Fellowship and has been a Nexus Community Partners BCLI Fellow. She has been an all-out activist on the issues that holistically affect her family, community, including policy and police violence, homelessness, gentrification, and is committed to making herself, her family, and community a healthier environment for all to thrive. So let's welcome Roxanne.
Good morning, everybody. I usually don't get up this early to do speeches. But I was asked to talk a little bit about the work that I do and the organizations that I do it with. I was very pleased that we were able to share this map with you guys. If you take a look up here, this is a map. This is a map that I have been working with for a while with a group called Juxtaposition Arts, as well as Center for Earth, Energy, and Democracy. It was also partially funded through the Environmental Justice Coordinating Council, and a lot of work and support was from Cura. This is a map that is in continuation of work that I've been doing for the past 7 years in my community. If you notice, this is North Minneapolis. Anybody from North Minneapolis in the house? Woo! 2 of us, all right. We're here. And if you look up there, you'll see that North Minneapolis is on the right side of the river or the west side of the river. And I don't know, can you still hear me on the mic? Okay. If you can see up there, this is what we call in environmental justice an overburdened community, a community that is exploited by industrial, by a policing system that targets us, by redlining and banking practices that are targeting our communities. What else you can see on the map? You also see things that have been long forgotten, like Spirit Island on the river, one of the sacred grounds of the Dakota people that was basically destroyed so that Minneapolis could become as rich and as powerful as it is today. On the map, you'll also see Juxtaposition Arts, again, a nonprofit organization that started out as an after-school youth program for kids. That's actually, to me, an environmental justice stop. That's an environmental justice location for my community. You know, I come from a community that has been given the rep for basically being worthless and devalued. But everybody in my community knows that we are the most resilient and the most valuable. Otherwise, why would everybody be trying to come and buy it up and gentrify it and kind of use us as their own personal piggy bank for success and wealth? So I'm one of those people, kind of like an alchemist. I have used any instances in my life where I have felt overburdened or targeted by the system. And people from my community, we are the ones who turn these toxic spots into environmental justice areas, into healing spaces. So I just wanted to let you know also, the place I work for, we work with youth from the north side. We do arts, we do after-school programs, and we do summer programs. What's amazing about this map is it was just a regular map at one point. But if you can see up there, a student of ours named Dara Crawford and D'Angelo Raymond, they did these drawings of these stops and are helping me to engage and educate people from my community and also on the university campus about what is going on in our communities. So I want to let you know why I was asked to be here today. I just got into environmental justice work. I feel like it hasn't been that long. It was about 7 years ago. And I was given information from a neighborhood organization that had information about a place called Northern Metals that is our recycling facility in my community. And there was a lot of lingo, a lot of environmental lingo that I didn't understand in the beginning, but they were able to give me some information and break down what was going on in my community, like telling me that Northern Metals wanted to raise pollution by 1,000%, and they were asking for a new permit to be able to do that. They also didn't want to be required to do any sort of cleaning, or they just weren't accountable at all to the community they were in. So me and many others, especially elders who supported me in the work, we pushed the information out there. We got the community to sign petitions, make phone calls. I mean, we really turned up the heat. I was told not to bring up the R word, the racism word, the white supremacy word. I did it anyway because I believe that in order to get some of these root problems solved, we need to really talk about what they are and not the Band-Aids. We need to really stop calling communities disadvantaged and start saying what they really are. We are exploited. And I'm one of those people who grew up in life and had a rough life, just really hard. I had to witness my friends being abused by police officers. I had to grow up in a community between North and Northeast Minneapolis where the air smelled like poison. I had to watch my mom go through a foreclosure because the banks weren't accountable. And through all this work, through all this pain, through all this anger, I used that as motivation to get out here and do something about it. You see, people really only do something when they're uncomfortable, when they're angry. We can't sit around and be sad about it anymore. We have to get angry in order to do something about it. And you really have to be a part of the community to come up with any sort of real solutions. So I just want to let you guys know that never look past people like me in the community who may have, I didn't finish school, I got my GED. I went through a lot of hardships. I failed pretty much I failed the test of all that the system gave me. But what's that quote? What didn't you do to destroy me? You forgot I was a seed. And that's how I feel about my community and where I come from. Everybody thinks that we're just failing out here, but we're not. We're fighting, we're succeeding, we're engaging, you can't even keep us from academia spaces anymore. People like me will show up and we will be here every step of the way. So we're out here, keep the good fight. And I don't really know what my time is right now. I still got like 5 minutes? 2 minutes? All right. So, what do you guys think about when you think about environmental justice? Anybody want to? Northern Metals got a permit less than what they require, but I didn't tell you guys, actually, we fought so hard that Northern Metals will be moving out, will not be able to shred in our community as of next year, 2019. which is pretty unprecedented. That stuff doesn't normally happen, but when you fought as hard as some of us did, we got the attention of people like Cameron Gordon and people like Raymond Dean and a lot of people who were just willing to jump into the fight after they saw how passionate we were. I think it's important in any fight that I do, I make sure that I bring up the truth of what's really happening. I'm pretty controversial. The mayor still won't talk to me. But it's okay, because I have other people who helped me get into those rooms, right? I'm like, I was just telling somebody else, she was like, I got a meeting with the mayor. I'm like, don't tell him I'm coming. But I mean, you know, that's what you have to do to be heard out here. And I'm very grateful to be here. I was given this opportunity because Mayor Carter couldn't come, so I'm feeling really thankful to even be able to fill that space right now. Sometimes I don't even know how I get to where I go, but I know one thing's for sure is I would not be in any of these spaces unless I came from the community that I come from. And also want a big shout out to my mom who's in the audience. Mom, can you wave? Also, Kristen from Juxtaposition Arts and Kira, who helped me a lot with the map. She's over there in the audience. Kristen, thank you. There's a lot of people who support me and support this work out here. Louis Alamayu. I'm also a Green Zone organizer with the EJCC, the Environmental Justice Coordinating Council. Again, I'm also a Bush Fellow, so I've had a lot of people support me to get me up here so that I can give these messages out. And I'm thankful for your ears and thankful for your hearts, and I hope that I've moved you in some way to do something more passionately today.